Hey everyone, welcome to a collaborative effort. We got Let Us Pray, Steve Baker, the man, the myth, the legend, as well as me, Rev Trev, your boy, your man from Kempner Sports. And we are talking today about pretenders and contenders in the NFL. So I'm excited. Hey Steve, good to have you here, my brother.
Man, thanks for having me, Rev Trev. I'm excited. The last time was pretty fun. So round two.
That's right. And thanks for having me on your podcast as well. Looking forward to this. So we're going to dive into divisions and who we think are the pretenders and contenders, why and why not. And so, where do you want to start?
Let's start with the AFC East, man, because I think
Okay.
there's some very interesting teams in the East this year.
Totally.
Man, we got Buffalo Bills, obviously, preseason favorite, you could say, to go to the Super Bowl. Josh Allen, arguably MVP caliber quarterback there for the Buffalo Bills. They're 6-2 right now, so obviously I consider them a contender.
Totally.
But then you got two teams that have been in the basement of the NFL for almost the last decade.
Right.
You got the New York Football Jets that just beat the Bills last Sunday, and I kid you not, I do an episode called "Who You Got" every week on my podcast, and I haven't been picking the Jets, but they've been proving me wrong almost week after week.
Well, especially after losing Brees Hall, right? So,
oh my gosh. So you're looking like Jets are 6-3 right now, and then you got another team, the Miami Dolphins, at 6-3 as well. Tua, I don't even know how to say his last name, Tungavailoa. I don't know.
I think you
I don't
nailed
know
it.
I don't know if I got it right or not. I apologize, Tua and family. But you got Tyreek Hill on pace to get 2,000 receiving yards. How ridiculous is that? Traded from the Kansas City Chiefs. Who thought that would have happened this season? Then you also have Raheem Mostert there. You have Jeff Wilson Jr. just got traded from the 49ers. And then you have Jalen Waddle going around in the end zone, waddling all over the place. So those are three teams right there in the thick of it for contenders in the AFC. Buffalo Bills, New York Jets, Miami Dolphins. But here's my thing. I only consider the Bills a legitimate contender in that division.
Wow. You're
I
hating on
don't
them,
think
hating on the young guys. Listen. Let me just stop for you for a second because obviously everyone's got to say Buffalo because they beat Kansas City, but are you not concerned that the Jets and Dolphins both beat Buffalo? Like, let's talk about that for a second. If they play each other in the playoffs, you can say Buffalo's a legit contender all you want, but they've
right.
already that's their two losses.
I agree. I think the hardest games to win in the NFL are division games because you are so familiar with your opponents. So for that reason alone, I still believe the Bills to be the contender and these other two teams to be pretenders because they're divisional rivals and you can almost throw out the records in those type of games because the teams play each other twice a year. They're familiar with the personnel, with the schemes. So it's going to be really hard every divisional game.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
great point.
I'm with you, unless the games they play the second games, they lose those games too. If the Bills lose those games too, I don't have Buffalo at number one anymore. Josh Allen with that the elbow issue, that concerns me big time.
Right.
I think what the reason I'm saying this is I'm starting to believe in the New York Jets defense more than people are giving the credit for. And Miami getting Chubb was unbelievably amazing. That offense looks legit. So I don't think it's a big gap between these teams, and everyone thinks there is.
I agree with you with that. I don't think there's a huge gap, but I do think the experience factor for the Bills. I mean, they almost made it to the Super Bowl last year. They were so close. Had
Mhm.
that thrilling game against the Kansas City Chiefs, which ultimately changed the entire landscape of overtime rules
Totally.
in the NFL. Um, yeah, I just think they're battle tested, and I think this year might be their year.
Nice. Nice. Okay, so we're gonna go AFC North, and I don't know if you saw, but my preseason prediction is that the Ravens are going to win this division. Everyone was picking Cincinnati, loving on them, blah blah blah. And I get Cincinnati's good. Don't get me wrong. None of us thought that Pittsburgh was going to be great. I thought maybe even Cleveland. We didn't. We just thought they're going to be awful because of their quarterback situation. But what are you thinking about this my Ravens pick? And do you think they're a contender? Do you like that's still only a one victory difference right now? Like they're basically somewhat tied, right?
Yeah. I think this division matchup is going to come down to the last week. Um, it's very close. As you said, I don't think the Bengals, by any stretch of the imagination, are slouches. They proved, I mean, Super Bowl runner-ups last year, but it's something about that team that loses the Super Bowl the week before, the year before.
Right.
Something happens that next year, and you saw the Bengals get off to a really slow start this season, losing some games that you thought they should have won.
Hmm.
Lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
Like, are you serious? You Mitch Trubisky? Come on, man.
Hey, he's better than you think. But anyways, he can win
My
games.
bad,
He's an
Mitch.
NFL quarterback.
My bad, Mitch. My bad, Mitch.
At
Um,
least he said his
but
last name right. Oh.
uh, but Baltimore Ravens, absolutely, I agree with you. I have them winning this division. Lamar Jackson is on a mission. He's
Hmm.
playing for the New Deal.
Right.
Uh, he's his own agent. Him and his family are, secure the bag, the big contract, and he wants the most guaranteed money in league history next season. So, I mean, he's off to a decent start, 6-3. He's carrying that team. I do worry about the injuries to his number one option there, tight end. And then he just lost his number one receiver, Rashad Bateman, as
Right.
well.
Right.
So those could be factors, but everybody knows that's a run first team anyway, run heavy. They're going to cycle through 3-4 backs, and Lamar Jackson is LaMarvelous with his
Right.
legs.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't think
Ravens all the way.
the Cincinnati's defense is as good as they were last year. I don't think that they're gelling. I think their offense is incredible. So yeah. All right, let's move to the easiest one, the AFC South.
Oh,
That what
let me
a
throw in one more thing. Let me throw in
okay.
one more thing for the Ravens. Great trade getting Roquan Smith
Oh my
from the
goodness.
Bears. So
That's
that was a huge trade.
massive. I don't know. Do not know what the Bears are doing there. Okay, so Tennessee Titans are 5-3. They look like they have a stranglehold. They should be. Now they are. They actually played very, very well last week against the Kansas City Chiefs. In fact, I thought
I agree.
for a moment there they were going to win the game, but then once they started stalling out, I'm like, okay, Kansas City's got this. Um, I've been really impressed with Tennessee. I did not think they were going to be this good, especially with the rookie quarterback sitting there so early. But there's no one else in this division we should even be talking about, right? It's got to be Tennessee. And I
Bro,
mean, do we talk about anyone else?
dude, honestly don't even want to say anything because I have this Falcons jersey on, and Matty Ice was supposed to be the guy to come in
Right,
and wrestle away this division from the Tennessee Titans. And the ice has melted. The
right,
the ice is gone. It's lukewarm water right now, room temperature.
right.
No more ice. He is activated this week though with the new interim coach, Jeff Saturday. He was supposedly benched for the rest of the year
Terrible.
by Frank
That's
Reich
terrible what just happened.
in favor of a
Dude,
6th round pick. Sam Ellinger, who can barely throw the ball himself. Um, I mean, I don't know
I
what's
don't
going
you
on.
think? Okay, I know you're a Falcons fan, but I still think they made the wrong decision. Why isn't Matt Ryan in there? Come on, he's
I
not.
don't.
He's not the problem. It's the O line, right?
I don't think that we made the wrong decision simply because I think this team, well, the Atlanta Falcons, and we'll get to them in a little bit. Uh, we're in a rebuild mode. We are in rebuild mode. We have a lot of young guys. We have a new scheme with a new coach, and simply Matt Ryan wasn't his guy. And I'm not saying we have the
That's
guy
fine. Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I'm not saying that by any stretch of the imagination. We have the guy now, but Matt Ryan was not his guy, and I think they wanted to flip him for assets, which is what they did. And ultimately, it sucks when you get rid of the franchise quarterback that has every single passing record for your franchise. But at some point, I
Right.
think we did him more of a favor than harm by trying to trade him to a contender.
Right.
But it just didn't work out. Just didn't work
Mhm.
out.
Yeah. So when it comes to Tennessee, I would consider them pretenders in the way that I don't. They are very good. I just don't think they have, like, when you're comparing them to even any of these teams in the AFC East, the North, and now we're going to get into the AFC West. Would you agree with that, or would you disagree?
So you have Tennessee as a pretender.
Yeah.
That's tough. Um, with Malik Willis as quarterback, absolutely pretender. I don't think he's ready for the big stage. But even with Tannehill, I tend to agree with you. I just think they had I don't know what it was last year, but I thought they had a more of a toughness and edge to them. Um, Seem to not be playing at the same level this year. So I tend to agree with you, pretender as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't care who they have a quarterback. 149 points for at this stage of the year is horrific. So,
I'm
all
looking
right,
right at.
let's go to AFC West. Obviously, Kansas City Chiefs are definitely not a pretender, but a contender. They're still on that. They beat Buffalo Bills last year, even though they lost in the regular season. They still could win the conference, no problem. Not no problem, but they could find a way to win. The team that I want to talk about is the Chargers. I actually picked the Chargers to win the division, and the reason why I want to bring them up is they're still 5-3. They still have another game to play Kansas City. They have a chance, but what's been really sad about the Chargers is the injuries, and they're just piling up.
I'm
So Keenan Allen, I love that guy. I think he's an incredible route runner. But let's just be honest, he's an injury-prone player. Like
Mr. Glass. Mr. Glass.
yeah, exactly. And so when he's healthy, and maybe he'll be healthy for the run and the playoffs and the whole thing, but losing Mike Williams hurts. But most importantly, losing Slater at the left tackle has made life miserable for Justin Herbert, who had a monster year, who would be considered a fantasy bust right now, Justin Herbert. But he still has the skill and talent. And if they can piece something together there, they've also lost some key pieces to the defense too. That it's quite concerning. So, what's
Yeah.
your thoughts about the Chargers, contenders, pretenders?
I agree. All the injuries make it tough to almost evaluate this team in the sense of a legit contender. I believe they lost their starting nose tackle last week as well
Man,
against the Falcons. My team still ended up beating us. Um, I believe they're one of the worst teams against the run in the NFL.
eesh.
So that's a glaring stat for a defense.
Oh, and they're
Um,
playing San Francisco this Sunday night. They're
exactly.
like in
So
San Francisco. Like if they can pull off that win, then it's something. But if it doesn't look very good, right?
yeah, like you said, Justin Herbert, he's only one man. He can only do so much. Austin Eckler is all-world running back. I mean, he can do it all. He's arguably their best pass catcher that they have on the team right now, and their
Right.
best running back.
Right.
But like I said, you got a defense that can't stop the run. You got a ton of injuries to all your receivers. It's gonna be tough for them down the stretch. So I would consider them a pretender right now, unless they could get healthy.
All right, let's go to the NFC, brother. Let's see. We've got the undefeated Philadelphia Eagles. Let me just say that again: undefeated Philadelphia Eagles.
Undefeated.
Now, their offense is incredible, but in a lot of ways, but their defense is top of the league. 135 points against. Like, this is what we're talking about here. I did not see the Eagles being 8-0. I don't think anyone did. Now, I would consider them a contender now that I was wrong about them. But there is a great division here. The NFC
Great.
least became the NFC East again, the mighty East. And so we got Dallas there at 6-2, the Giants there at 6-2. And tell me, which one of those ones are pretenders and which ones are contenders there?
Okay, so you taught me something last year. I'm gonna just come out and say it. I had the Cowboys as a strong contender last year, and you set me straight. You said, "No way. There's no. I don't trust the Cowboys. I don't care how good they are. I don't trust them." And I had to see for myself. They got the playoffs, and they got bounced out. Um, there is something about the Cowboys. I don't know what it is, and it's not just this team. It's It's something hovering over the franchise. I don't know what it is. It's the something similar that's hovering over this franchise too. I cannot trust the Cowboys as a legit contender. I just can't.
Right.
And I'm talking about Super Bowl.
Right.
Yes, they may make the playoffs, but I don't consider them a Super Bowl contender. No.
Okay.
Giants, too young right now. Great start to the season, but too young. Quarterback's young, not battle tested. Saquon Barkley, one of his first injury-free seasons
Right.
Since he's been in the league. So I still think they have a ways to go, but great start for the Giants as well. So I just consider the Eagles the only contender in this division.
Okay, well, I'm gonna shock the world here. Then I'm picking. I think the Eagles are contenders. Okay, I agree with you. The Giants, when you're looking at everything, I think they're still pretenders. They just can't put up the numbers, but it's the Cowboys that I'm believing in now, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because that defense is legit. It is special. So I'm saying that the Cowboys now are contenders. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not going to say, but I still think they can win the division. And I
Okay.
know a lot of people are like, "You're nuts," and I'm like, "No, I'm not," because Dak is back, and they finally figured out to
Dak is
start
back.
Pollard. Like
Now,
okay, this is my funny thing. Let me just say this quickly to you. You know how they all say us armchair quarterbacks know nothing?
right,
And
right,
these franchises, they know everything. They pay people millions of dollars. And we
right.
look at games and go, why isn't Pollard the number one? A few years ago, McCarthy, free Aaron Jones. What do we know? We just the
What do you know?
fans that buy all the merch and watch games and make stinking YouTube and podcasts. What do we know?
What do we
Apparently,
know?
we know a lot. We know a lot.
Sometimes we get some stuff right.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right that we're right. So, anyways, I would consider the Cowboys contenders now with Dak back. Now I don't know what they're going to do, but we're going to see. So,
Um,
does that
uh,
surprise you or what?
that actually was a curveball. I did not see that coming. I did, I did not see that coming. But I will agree, Pollard is the best running back on that team, and has been for a couple years now.
Right.
And he has not gotten his respect there in Dallas.
I agree.
Just quickly, I had a conversation with a friend of mine who's huge Dallas fan, went to high school together, and he made a comment about Ezekiel Elliott, and I'm like, bro, he he's done.
I don't
He's
know why they pay him the money.
hey, the treads on those tires are bald.
Right.
By now, I mean, those tires are
He'd be a
bald,
great
no more.
backup. He'd be a great backup. But
That's what
anyways.
I said. I said saying that he'll be a good backup or a short yardage guy, that's not an
Right.
insult
Right.
considering all that he's done in his
Right.
career.
Right.
But going forward, you got to let the young guy with the wheels and the stamina and all that. I mean, you got to let him get his just due. Let him
Right.
get his just due.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so NFC North, obviously Packers a huge disappointment. Bears, they're
Wait, wait,
just
wait,
not gonna.
wait, wait.
No,
Say that one more
dude.
time.
What am I gonna say? We've sucked offensively, defensively, and on special teams. Like, what else is there to say? It's just a fact.
What?
We're going to get a top 10 pick here, bro. That's what's happening right now. We're unintentionally tanking right now. We're trying our best and we're still losing games.
Okay, so here's my question. I know you're an avid Packers fan.
Yeah, I like them a little bit.
Is it the wide receivers that is causing the disconnect with the offense, which is leading to the losses, or what exactly do you put your finger on for this type of start to the season?
Yeah. Well, I know what it feels like to be a Bears fan right now, losing 5 straight. But okay, I don't really want to get into this because this is just a very long conversation. But
Okay.
short about it is, I think our O line isn't as good as we were hoping, wasn't as healthy as we were hoping, and then sustaining not only the Adams loss, but just the continual difficulties of keeping our wide receivers healthy is just too much to sustain. I wish Christian Watson was healthy all year. I think that signing Sammy Watson was terrible from the beginning. I do not think that was. I do not know what they were thinking. Now, I am not critical about their drafting because, yeah, again, a whole nother thing. Everyone's saying we should have drafted a wide receiver. We didn't have very many options at that stage. Think who was the other guy? Pickens was the only other guy left, and then it's like, well, who do you like better? The franchise owns Watson. Okay,
Right.
all the wide receivers went before us. I wanted London. I wanted Olav. I wanted all those guys. I wanted all the studs, but they were gone. So what do you do with them? You tell me.
How old? Okay, this is my only question about the Packers. How old is Randall Cobb?
5,000 years old. And the reason why nobody wanted him back is because he kept getting hurt. But Rodgers wanted him back. Like, did he want Jordy back too? Did he want Clay Matthews back? Like, you can't bring the old guys back.
Bring
That
Donald
was
Driver back.
terrible.
James Jones.
Let's go.
Hey, shoot him up.
Get them all on the train.
Sterling
Is Eddie
Sharp.
Lacy in shape? Let's bring him back. Like, that's what I'm saying. Anyways, okay, let's get to a real contender that a lot of people are saying right now in the Vikings. What's your thoughts on the Vikings?
I think it agreed, man. It is something about the gritty. Justin Jefferson had taken the world by storm with this gritty. And you can say it doesn't translate to actual X's and O's in football, but I disagree. This gritty has given this Vikings team like a newfound swag. You want to say confidence. They're out there having fun, looking like they're enjoying playing with one another. Can't wait to get in the end zone so they can gritty. And I really like what the Minnesota Vikings are doing. Kirk Cousins, you know him. You like that? You like that? Hey, I do like it. He's 7-1. Pretty nice, Kurt. Dalvin Cook, like him as long as he's healthy. Then you got Adam Thielen there as well. You got a solid defense. I like the Vikings. I think they're a legit contender. Absolutely. I like them. 6-game win streak too. So
Yeah. At this stage, I respect the 7-1. By the way, we only have 10 minutes left.
okay.
Uh, I like them. I like them a lot what they're doing. I just can't label them as contender yet because they're if you look at their schedule, it's been soft. I think if Josh Allen is healthy and they win this week, I will I will put them into contender mode. I have them as a pretender at the moment, and it's nothing to do with the hate. I just look at that schedule and go, who have they played? They played the Eagles and they lost. Everyone said, well, they played the Packers. Well, we know how bad they are. So let's just be honest. Okay, let's get into the hardest one. NFC South. Do not understand what's going on in this division. Is your Falcons going to win this division? That's what I want to know. Or is it going to be the Bucks?
Did you see the game Thursday?
Actually, I didn't. No.
Okay. You saved yourself 3 hours of what did I say on my podcast? Sad, salty.
Right.
I had another S word for him too. Suffering. It was a game of suffering for every Atlanta Falcons fan. I don't know what Marcus Mariota was doing, if he has a lot on his mind, but there's no way I can consider my Falcons a contender, a legit contender to win the NFC South after what I saw Thursday night.
Right.
So I'm thinking the Bucks are going to get it together and win this division, but they look bad. Also, I mean, they're 4-5.
Yeah.
So
My
I don't
opinion
think
is, I think that they're the only team that has a legit chance of winning. They could pull it together and do something, but right now they look awful. They look
bad.
awful. I mean, like right now, the Saints could win this division. That's how bad this division is.
It's bad.
You know. Anyways, okay, let's move on. There's nothing really to talk about here. I'm sorry. I love your Falcons. I'm hoping they win the division. Okay. The biggest surprise in the NFL this season is blank. It is the Seattle Seahawks. I picked them to win 5 games all year. I thought they were going to be bottom 3. And here we are, Geno Smith. I'm sure you've talked extensively on your podcast about them. I want to know, are they legit or are they just pretending out there?
I like the Seahawks. Are they a legit contender? No. The second team in that division, the San Francisco 49ers, I believe will ultimately win that division, and I have them as contenders.
Oh, there you go. Well, McCaffrey's pretty good.
Yeah. What Geno Smith and Kenneth Walker and DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are doing right now,
And that defense.
and that defense with a lot of rookies there. I mean, waived Bobby Wagner and pretty much brought in. I mean, what they are doing there is incredible. What they are doing there is incredible. But it's nothing negative against Geno Smith. I just don't.
Right.
I don't know if I would trust him in a playoff game.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So, 49ers, Jimmy G, Christian McCaffrey,
Debo,
George Kittle, Debo,
man.
Brandon Ayuk, Check, Elijah Mitchell. I don't know who else they got, but that's all you need.
Well,
you don't need anybody else.
Right.
Solid line. I mean, you need a solid line, but they have that. And Kyle Shanahan has an embarrassment of riches right now. They're getting healthy at the right time. Debo will be back in the lineup. Juszczyk is back. Those guys have been out for a while. Kittle was banged up at the beginning of the year. Obviously, Trey Lance was the starting quarterback, but he went down. So Jimmy G stays with the club, takes a pay cut, and now he's kind of reaping the benefits. He has a team that's a legit contender if they can just stay healthy.
Win the division.
Yeah, win the division, man. I think it's possible for the 49ers.
Right. I'm leaning this. I'm figuring out what you're laying down here. But here's the thing: this is the difference between these two teams. Points against. Seahawks have allowed in their defense 220 points against.
Absolutely.
The 49ers, we're talking 147 points. Like they're in the conversation with the Eagles and the Cowboys and like as legit, and we know that defense wins championships. So if the 49ers can win this division, we're talking like something special could happen here. I know that they only have 4 wins.
I agree.
So I'm with you. I'm not there yet. I think they're going to win Sunday night. So now they're going to be 5-4. They're still not winning the division at 5-4. So they've got, I don't know who they got coming up here. Let's look at their schedule here.
They got to play the Seahawks again.
Yeah,
I know that because they
yeah,
beat them the first
exactly.
time.
So if we go to their official site, but yeah, so I don't know how are you feeling about that? I know you live in the Bay Area, so that helps.
They're getting a lot of traction here in the Bay Area now. Obviously, a lot of people were disappointed with the start, but they have Chargers, okay? Then they have the Cardinals, Saints, Dolphins, Buccaneers, and then the Seahawks.
Dude, did you
So,
know that they beat the Seahawks 27-7?
yes, I remember because the Seahawks scored on a blocked field goal, I believe.
Wow.
So they were getting shut out that game. They got mauled. They didn't even score an offensive touchdown. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So they should win this week. So that's 5. They're going to beat Arizona. They're going to beat New Orleans. So that's now we're at 7.
7.
Miami, they could win against Miami. I don't know what's gonna. Maybe they don't win against Miami. So let's not say they should beat the Bucks. They should beat the Seahawks. They should beat the Commanders. They should beat the Raiders. Then they got, dude. They might win. They might win every game except for one for the rest of the season.
I'm telling you, it looks like to me the 49ers are going to get healthy at the right time and have a chance to almost run the table at the end of their schedule.
Right. I think you're right. Yeah. I think they're going to win all of them except for one for sure.
Maybe the Dolphins game is the one I have circled as a loss.
My goodness. This is
that's
why we're doing this podcast right now. This is the kind of stuff nobody's talking about.
Hey, only with Rev Trav. Only with Rev Trav.
Well, hey, man, thanks for having me on. I'm glad to have you on here. I hope that people found some entertainment, but more importantly, some, gems of things. We would love for you to comment about what you think is going to happen, where we're wrong, where we're right. And don't miss that. And make sure you follow these channels and subscribe and do that thing because we're trying to pump out really great content to help people just have a great time. The NFL is a great time to watch games. So we love it. We love it.
Sir.
So from Kempner Sports to Let Us Pray.
Peace.
Peace out.
All right, Rev.